The Hebrew text in the Bible has hidden formats. By revealing these formats, I will prove the first writer's words were hidden from you. These formats look like poetry. I would like to show you the 12 commandments listed in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. These commandments are the agreement between our Creator and His nation Israel, and they agreed with our Creator that any father of a family or his wife who did not obey any of these 12 commandments, our Creator demanded them to bring Him a sin offering to their priest to be forgiven of their sin. Thus, our Creator defined the word sin as not obeying any one of these 12 commandments. Now I want to show you how I changed one word in Exodus 20, verse 26, the word bars to arches. And the words now reveal the style of the roof for His tent for meeting with Him, and the roof style for the house for meeting with Him. So who has been editing the first writer's words to hide this knowledge from you? Let me show you their words from the 1611 preface, which the translators inserted into the front of the English King James Bible in 1611. They gave 4 reasons for themselves to edit the Bible. The one I want to show you is the red arrow at the top, which points to the 3rd reason. By the light and feeling we attained unto ourselves. The next red arrow down points to them giving the title, the divine, to a clerk named Gregory. Now the next block of words, they point out they were happy that the first emperor of Rome changed our Creator's calendar by setting the year to the course of the sun. Behind this text means Nebuchadnezzar ordered his kingdom to follow our Creator's calendar when he stopped eating grass. Did you notice how the letter S in sun is capitalized? This is to give respect to the Egyptian sun god Ra. And you can also see they have an Egyptian obelisk in the Vatican's courtyard. The last arrow points to your reward for studying the Bible. Your reward is to have a fellowship with the saints and a participation of a heavenly nature that will never fade away. In their own words, I will say those men were not seeking to help people who are seeking knowledge from the first writers writing in the Hebrew text. I have an old Bible program that I use to help find a better word from the New American Standard's 1977 Concordance, which has the number of times they use that English word in a parenthesis for that Hebrew word. My revealing of the first writer's words will make the text read like the first writer had wrote them, and their words will take your belief to trusting our Creator. Okay, I'm back. All right. Psalm 25. When you see the words that are in parentheses, it does mean that they found them in other manuscripts, these words, and thought they would add it into the text. To you, YV, I lift up my soul. Now this is not true. My God, in you I trust. Do not let me be ashamed. Do not let my enemies exult over me. Do not let my enemies exalt over me. I'm trying to find, like up here, the shortest verses here. Indeed, none of those. Indeed, none of those who wait for you will be ashamed. Well, that's not enough, so it has to go with that one. Those who deal treacherously without cause will be ashamed. Make me know your ways, YV. Make me know your ways. YV, and teach me your path. Lead me in your truth and teach me. For you are the God of my salvation. For you I wait all the day. Remember, YV, your compassion and kindness. This is just 2 words. For they have been of old. Do not remember the sins of my youth, or my transgression according to your kindness. Remember me for your goodness sake. It's like, for the you got to remember him for your goodness sakes, YV? I don't think so. Good and upright is YV. You're going to judge our Creator and call him good and upright. Therefore, he instructs the sinners in the way of whose way? He leads the humble in justice and teaches the humble his way. All the paths of YV are kindness and truth to those who keep his covenant, to those who keep his covenant and testimony. For your name's sake, YV, pardon my iniquity. That's just to add on. Who is the man? Who is man, meaning what man? Who? Man meaning male and female, not a singular male. That's secular dictionary talk. Who is man who fears YV? He will instruct him in the way he should choose. His soul will abide in prosperity, and his descendants will inherit the land. The secret of YV is for those who fear him, and he will make them known, and he'll make them know his covenant. They all knew his promises. My eyes are continually toward YV. That's for he will pluck my feet out of the net. Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am lonely and afflicted. The troubles of my heart are enlarged. Bring me out of my distress. Look upon my affliction and my that's troubles, and forgive all my sins. Look upon my enemy. Look upon my enemies, for they are many. Hate me with violent hatred. Guard my soul and deliver me. Do not let me be ashamed, for I take refuge in you. Let integrity and uprightness Preserve me, for I wait for you. Let my integrity and uprightness I think it means while I wait for you. Redeem Israel. Redeem Israel, God, out of all his trouble. Now this is full of crap again. It doesn't surprise me, but it just ticks me off. Okay. To you, YV, I lift up my soul. It can't be a soul. Lift up my eyes, but that's wrong. My God, I trust you. Okay, so this separate from the I trust my God, I trust my God, in you I trust. Do not let me be ashamed. Do not let my enemies exalt over me. Indeed, none of those who wait for you, none of us who waits for you will be ashamed. That's hard. That's a rough one too. Those who deal treacherously without cause will be ashamed. Make me know your ways, YV. Teach me your paths. Lead me in your truth. And teach me. You are the God of my salvation. For you I wait all the day. Remember, YV, your compassion and love kindness. For I have been from of old. For they have been from of old. Do not remember the sins of my youth or my transgression. According to your love kindness, remember me for my goodness. Whoops. Add, get rid of. This is just out. That doesn't connect with the other words down here. According to your love kindness, remember me for my goodness. Good and upright is YV. Good and uprightness is YV's instructions. YV instructs the sinners to his way. YV instruct sinners in his way. He leads the humble in justice, teaches the humble his way. This is humble is wrong. This is no. This is absolutely wrong. All the paths of YV are kindness and truth. All his paths are kindness and truth. Kindness and truth to those who keep testimony. Testimonies has to be, the promise is the 12th commandment, so commandments would have to be here to be truthful. His covenant and commandments. Don't need that. And it's not covenant, it's his promises. Who keeps, don't need here. Who keeps for your name's sake. YV pardons, not pardons, will forgive. Forgive is the best word I can think of that goes there. And this is, where am I at? Okay. I'm on this one here, and this is 11. Pardon, forgives, forgiven. So don't get mad at me for correcting and using the right word. Maybe forgives. Forgives. And then it would be iniquitous what? Well, he forgives our sin. So I'm going to use the word sin as more truthful. That's too far away from what they're trying to do. So forgives my sin. For it's for his name's sake. He forgives the sin to keep his nation together. Who is man? These two don't need to be here. Man who fears YV. He doesn't instruct, he guides. Let's see. Yes, directs, shows, teaches, 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 including males and females here. You've got to do that throughout the text. It teaches them. is, I'm not sure about the word way yet, but it is a comma period. Starting to find all those. So at least we're getting somewhere now with text. It's a rough go. And if you're just tuning in, I'm looking for this type of formats. You can see the 4 verse on your left and 3 verse on the right. So with that, he should chose follow them in his way. He should choose. There. I see the word abides here, so this abide will lodge, remain. You know, when I see remain overnight, spend the night, stuff like that, will abide. I'm not getting that sense of that word being that used this way there, because it's not their soul, their life. It's what we're talking about. Their life will be prosperous. Don't need the word abide. Is it U.S.? I don't think it is, but O.U.S. Oops, no. And their descendants will inherit the land. And this, meaning the promised land, has to be a large letter. That's what they write. That's why I designate it. It's different way to recognize and make sure people don't misuse the word land here and start preaching things that they don't know what it is truth. Keep them on point here. The secret of YHVH is for those who fear him. Secret of YHVH, that's just not that. You know what? I've got a collection of these stupid words, and I think I'm going to add that one to the stupid word collection. Why is everything so small now? I just don't understand what happened to my text and all these things. Maybe I should have rebooted my computer, because I'm having a hard time and I want to find this. His eyelids test the sons of man. See that? Okay. Eat up my people like bread. And then this one's really good. Smoke went out of his nostrils and fire out of his mouth. We have a volcano god here, people. No, not on my watch. This here is Psalm 25. Psalm 25. And what did I see here? The secret of YV. Yeah, I guess I could just take all of it and then highlight this one and say, okay, got another one for the collection. For us who fear him, for those is really us. Who fear him. It's not that the promises to everybody, it's not no secret. The object is they know what's going on here. They're living in their promised land. They're just that they put so much crap in here. Because this they already know. That's it's not our eyes are continually toward him. And this is separating because that's separate. I'm just trying to see if I can read this one to hopefully get to this one. For us who fear him, toward, let me go take a look at some of these words here. Like continually, always. What's towards? Oh, the word L. We finally get to see the word that's used for the title God. Okay, this is not helping. We look towards YV. Always. For us who fear him, eyes I'm going to change to look. Look. We look towards, we look to YV. Yeah, I'm going to have to just put to, not towards at all. Just put to. him. Get rid of that. Those who fear him, we look towards him or for him. He will pluck our feet out of their net. Because the net would have to be something that the enemy would put before them. That's why they always look towards our Creator. Then he will pluck my feet out of their net. He will, what's the word pluck here? Pluck. I want to say keep, so I got to get down here a little bit further into the K's. Go out, go forth. Not seeing anything. Lead. Brought out, come forth, lead. Let's see. He will lead my feet. He will not pluck, he will lead. We look to YV, and he will lead our feet. Our feet out of their net. Boy, there's a lot here. I should have cleaned up the text a little bit. Let me do that. Let me just, because I just been hammering away at this stuff. I should have stepped back earlier, because a lot of times when I get going like this, I'm editing, and the next thing I know, I've got this story wrong, or the way the writer would want to be saying it, certain ways. This I want down. This I want 8 point. Whoops. Boy, I made 50 corrections, or 50 things that I took out of there. Okay, so I lift up my, to you, YV, I lift up my God. To you, YV, this, and I should look to see what, if this should be the title Creator. Elohim. Yep. Elohim. Now, why did I say the word Creator? Because when I did a study of all these verses, pulled them out, read every one of them, and tried to figure out why the title God here is trying to be enforced as his name, and it's not. We know his name. But when I come to Genesis and I say the words, our Creator said, let there be light, our Creator saw the light, our Creator called, our Creator said, let there be an expanse, our Creator spake into existence everything, okay? Spake everything into existence. I don't believe I did that again. Sorry about that. Okay, I made the word creator here. And then I said, no, it doesn't belong. This I had to hammer out until there were two verses, because they were two verses. This seems to be two verse. So the thing here is that's what I looked for, and that's how I got here. Sorry about the skip here. I again forgot to switch back to for you to watch me when I do my research to make sure you understand things. I usually try to leave my hand out there that I know that I gotta switch, so I must have started waving them around anyway. Now, what I did was I tried to find these two verses, and then I see these two verses. Do they hook together yet? Not sure. None of those who wait for you will be ashamed. Who wait for you, wait for him will be ashamed. This would be Jesus, not for you. So I'm going to put in him as, whoops, can't do that. Get rid of that. I need to start with a different text here. Him, you to him, that would be Jesus. None of us who wait. None of those, none of us. But there seems to be more missing. None of us. There's something missing there. Who wait for him will be ashamed. Because you can't wait for our Creator. So, YHVH I trust. Do not let me be ashamed. Do not let my enemies exult over me. None of us who do YHVH. YHVH I trust. Do not let me be ashamed. Do not let my enemies exalt over me. Then why do I have the word thus, us here, if it's me? Because now he's switching to us. Do not let our enemies, if I go back, if I try to change this to this would be starting slowly changing it to us. Exalt over us. Rejoice over us? Is that what the... Rejoice. Triumph. Now how does rejoice? Do not let our enemies rejoice over us. Do not let us be ashamed. here again, it can be there. I might have to switch it back when I start reading the text down here. But the object here is YHVH we trust. So this could be we trust. Because I'm just seeing how it works here. YHVH we trust. Do not let us be ashamed. Do not let our enemies exalt over us. None of us should fail who wait. None of us I said it and it sounded good, but I don't know if that's what I want here yet. So send that over here. But none of us should fail who wait for him. Wait for him will be ashamed. None of us are to fail. Are to fail who wait for him will be who wait for him will be ashamed. No, that's that. Wait a minute. I've been reading that wrong. I've been saying it wrong. Who wait for him will not be ashamed. Who wait for him will be unashamed. Is that such a word? Okay. Who wait for him will be unashamed. None of us are to fail. Yeah, I got to go on. Those who deal treacherously without cause will be ashamed. Those who deal treacherously, let's see. Treacherously. Who deal, okay. This is a double word, so they're using deal treacherously as like this, 8 times. Deal treacherously 8 times. They got, okay, deals treacherously once. Deals. This is deal, so it's not even, it's this one here for 10 times. Betrayed. Those who betrayed us without cause will be ashamed. Those who dealt treacherously. No, I like the word betrays, even though it's only used once. Boy, is that the right word there. Those who betrayed us. Those who betrayed us. That is such, yeah. Because that influences the dating of this text. Those words are right there. That is a huge change. So all that's going to get underlined because When I'm dating the text, that is very important, looking for words like that. That could mean 400 years difference. So, and it would also mean what side is coming from, Judah's side or Israel's side. So there is a little bit here going on when I change. It's such an important part of the verse. So I got to watch what I'm doing there. Without cause will be ashamed. And this almost wants to do this then. None of us are to fail who wait for him are to be unashamed. Oops. Are to be unashamed. So this, I'm liking this more and more. Because now I have a 4-verse format. Teach us his path, how he is supposed to walk. He is the one entering into heaven righteously. Well, this would be our Creator. Teach us his path. His path. I don't see it as with an S. He only has one path, and that's to get to heaven. So now it's his. Teach us his paths and lead us by your truths. Truths. Oops. By your truths. Teach us his path and lead us Teach us your path and lead us by your truths. So, what I'm doing here is looking for verses like this. And that'll be the poetry-like format that you're seeing. And I use all capital letters to respect our Creator in purple or violet, either color. And Jesus is in red. So I've done quite a few of these, and you can see what I'm finding and what I'm not finding, words missing. So, but each writer has a certain style, and the text within it also lets me figure out, like this one, from a prophet. So some of them I still don't know what's going on, but as you can see, here's a second part, but I'm not going to throw away a second part when it's involving Jesus. So that's kind of what I'm doing here, looking around, trying to make sure that to reveal their words and not my own as well. So as you've seen how I just worked out to get to a 4-verse, and then this has to be a 4-verse here as well. And teach us your path and lead us by your truths. For you are now this should be our creator of salvation. Let me see here. Over here, I'm looking for the word Elohim, and I am seeing that. Okay. Now, I held up the the stream and didn't forget to turn back on the last time I went to here, but I'm just going to make this creator because I've done my due diligence and know that that Elohim is really the title creator. In fact, you almost have to say it, our creator. For you are our creator of our salvation. See that? He created salvation for us. That's how well this title works out when you realize that not God of our salvation. God, what is, when you think of the title God, you don't think of a creator of salvation. That's the key here. This is just of our salvation, and this is Jesus involved in our salvation. So, and for him, we wait every day. We wait for him every day. Not all, but every day. For you are our creator of our salvation, and we are to wait. Wait for him every day. And for you are our creator. For you are our creator of ours. Lead us by your truths. For you and I got the title wrong. Whoops. For you are the creator of our salvation, comma, and we are to wait for him every day. Okay. Remember, wife, your compassion and kindness. And this doesn't make any sense at all, even when I read it the 10th time. So let's see here. what chapter is this? This is Psalm 25. And I've already worked on it above. Up here, I stopped here, just trying to figure out the feeling for the writer, how he has made this 4-verse format. I'm looking for formats that do something like this. Anyone can find the format. It is the wording that you see me hammering out to get this. But what you're seeing is like this is how detailed the writer is. This is like a statement, and then these 2 verses hooked together to go with the statement. Heal me, and then talks about the bones are disturbed. When will you return, rescue me and save me because you love me? This type of writing is this style. It's very beautiful. Help defining what the other words are and where they're needed. And the more you know about all the statutes, all the laws, the difference between what a sacrifice is and what an offering is, it all plays into the knowledge that our Creator will give you more and more truths to go through and find these hidden formats. So I think I've tried to explain what I'm doing here. And let's see here. Remember YV, your compassion and kindness. So that'll be a period. That'll be a comma. Do not remember the sins of my youth. Now that's not true. See, just like that, do not remember the sins of my youth. You got to understand who is supposed to make the sacrifice to ask for the atonement. And that would be the father of the family. And it's the father and mother that are supposed to obey the commandments. Youth is youth. So it's kind of like our Creator isn't keeping an eye on them that well. The parents are supposed to guide them through. But the thing here is for them to say here, remember the sins of my youth, that isn't really true, because he has the compassion and kindness to say that, hey, look, I require it from your parents first. They're supposed to guide you. As long as they're being atoned, you'll learn that, and you will learn by them, because they'll tell you what to do and what not to do. The child has to learn. And you got to remember, they got married at between, I would say, 13 to 15 years old. Many of them got married that long in them years, because they didn't live beyond 50 years. So it's a whole different type of lifestyle and understanding of people 3,000 years ago. So this here, do not remember the sins of my youth or my transgressions. I have this Bible program here that allows me to check on words like this. This is 7, and say transgression. And this is the New American Standard concordance. And what they've done, shamefully and easy now to know, that they used this English word 37 times. And you can see that some of these words are close to this word, but I can show you, like the word boy, they used for the word girl once. I can show you the word dove, and it's actually a man's name 4 times, however they did that. And so it kind of shows you the corruption of the text by them. But trying to figure out what word can I use besides transgression, I try to go find another word that they would have used. And if not, I put it as all gray italic and say I need to add it because I just know the difference here in the text. But do not remember the sins of my youth or my transgressions. Well, see here, example, the word sin, punishment, purification, offering, 116 times, sin offering twice. But that's, sin 70 times, yeah, but offering 116 times. So you can't say every word in the Bible is true. You just can't once you study or even see what I show you. So I'm hoping that helps you out. Do not remember the sins of my youth or this would have to be wickedness. That's just things that you do in your youth. Do not remember. It says offerings, but do not remember the ways of my youth or my wickedness. And ways I'm going to put here, but the object is this has to be gray because they aren't responsible for sinning. Their parents are supposed to guide them. So this word sin can't be correct. Remember, YV, your compassion and kindness. Do not remember the ways of my youth or my wickedness. And then they connect. According to your kindness, remember me for my goodness. Good and upright. YV instructs me. YV instructs sinners in the way, in his way. According to your love kindness, remember me for my goodness. Trying to make so that I am good and upright. But I can't connect it to the next one here. And I've got a 4 verse, and it kind of gives me hints if I read up the top and then down below here. He leads the humble in justice, and he teaches the humble his way. This would be Jesus. He will lead the humble in his justice, and he will teach our humble his ways. This is almost as if we say Jesus here. Jesus here will be his. And now I'm going to have to make this italic. Even though I'm supposed to do it in red, you ain't going to see nothing, so I got to change it back to black text. Okay, and it's his justice. So it has to be capital letter. Got to respect and honor Jesus here in the text. But just understanding the difference between he and a lot of this. He leads, he will lead, because he's not here yet. He will lead. This is wrong. Our humble. Our humble. He will lead our humble by his justice. Just a little word, in to by. It makes a big difference. And teaches the humble his way. Well, it's got to be our again. And I really don't think I'm making the sentences mine either when I do this. So, but now that I've got this one, and that's definitely like that. All his paths. See, this I had considered it was our Creator, but now that I've got this as Jesus, all his paths. So I got to bring that down and say, grab his here, bring it to here, and then go path, and this has to go upright. All his paths are by your kindness and truth, because he's up here telling us, teach us ours. You are our creator of our salvation. Remember why your compassion. So this has to be all his paths are by your kindness and truth. All are by your kindnesses and truths. Okay. Yep, this will be our creator here. All his paths. This would be Jesus, so this should be red. All his paths are by your kindness and truth. Are by your kindnesses and truths. Got to be an S on the end. So now if these, okay, yeah, this is going to hook together as a 4 verse. Okay, now that I got that hammered, this here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 2 of them that's wrong. According to your kindness, remember me for my goodness. Remember me for my goodness. I still want to try to use these 2 words, but I see how these hook together. YV instructs. YV instructs sinners in the way. He will lead us. That doesn't, That doesn't sound right. Maybe compassion, kindness. I got to just skip over that. I'm still not catching how the writer would write those words better. Who keeps his promise and commandments. For your name's sake, YV, forgive my sins. Man who fears YV, he teaches him his way. Oh boy, here I go again. Lost at the trying to figure out the writer. He's going from Jesus to back to our Creator. And that's who keeps his promises and commands. His paths are by your kindness and truth. And he keeps your promises and commandments. No, his promises and commandments, who keeps his promises and commandments. No, you live for his promises by his commandments. That is just being said wrong. Who keeps his promises? We can't keep his promises. His promises are his. This has to be out. That is just out. By your name's sake, YV, forgive our sin. No, this is almost like two different stories here. This is just nothing compared to this up here. And this is just being stuck here. Because this was going really well. This is going really well. But this is not going well. Do not remember the ways of my youth or my wickedness. But according to your love kindness, I'm going to have to use the word but. But according to your love kindness, remember me for my goodness. For I am to be good and upright and not in the way of sinners. Because this all of a sudden breaks. There's something here that I'm not getting. Let me try this and read it several different ways. Instruct sinners in the way. Good and upright. Livy. That doesn't read right there. That good and upright. Livy instructs the sinners. Oh, come on. And that isn't really the sinners. It has to be our sinners to be correct. YHVH instructs our sinners to his ways. Not in, but to his way. To his way. It almost has to read for us. For us. And then that is what's going on. But according to your kindness, remember me for my goodness. To be good and upright. YHVH, to be good. Is that all that needed was the word to? And I was having so much trouble to be good and upright. YHVH instructs our sinners. I don't really need all this. I think I went too far with this, making it what I wanted it to do. And just say, hey, don't need that. To be good and upright, YHVH instructs our sinners. And then that would hook together. Now we have 4 verse, 4 verse. Boy, that took forever. Man. Okay. Now, this is still part of my cleaning up. And let's see. This is all new, so this needs to be. But I'm starting to get the feel how this writer is writing the story. I really am. So, for your name's sake, YHVH forgives our sin. Because being his nation, and they understand their responsibility is that to teach others that we have a creator. And then they're explaining his name. So for your name's sake, YHVH forgives our sin. Man who fears YHVH, he teaches them his way. This has to be mankind who fears YHVH. He will teach them his way. This has to be mankind because they're talking outside their group. And this would be that he will teach them his way. That's who them is. Mankind who fears YHVH, he will teach them his way. Now this here goes with that, like did I dismiss that verse? And this goes like this, and this goes like this, and like this. Who keeps his promises and commandments. For his name's sake. That is two separate. That's two separate of words to hook there. But I was thinking these two hook. Man who fears YV will teach. He will teach them his way. So here, that would be like that. Man who fears YV, he will teach them his way. Their life will be prosperous, and their descendants will inherit the land. But they don't do that. So that doesn't connect with that. They can't end up inheriting. This is the promised land. And then this does hook together then again. For your name's sake, YV forgives our sin. Mankind who fears YV, he will teach them his way. With this back here, because they are supposed to be the nation, his nation, who are to be unto him, and the rest of the world is to learn from them. For your name's sake, YV forgives our sin. Mankind who fears YV, he will teach them his way. I don't think it's mankind. I think it's going to be people. Let me see if the word people is here in verse 12. Where am I? Ron's husband, idiot. Okay, and I think a man's name once. There it is again. Man, use a people or persons, people 3 times. So I can use the word people and not really be complaining that it's too far away. So people who fears, don't need an S on the end of the fears either. People who fear YV, he will teach them his way. That's the grouping. Now this, I don't know if 2 verses are missing, and whether they are your kindness and truth. Let's see, his promises and commandments. If this who is Jesus, I could put his name in here as Yah. And to do that, I want to make sure that you understand his name here. Here is 149. This is the letters you see me put in. Praise Yah, sing to our Lord a new song. So YV here is Lord. So here we can say that we're singing this new song to praise Yah. His praise, the praise that's going on, in our congregation to our righteous ones. We rejoice in our King, so they know that he's our King in heaven. So this is their new song that they're singing, and they're going to praise his name. Well, where's his name at? Well, it's got to be here. Yeah. So that's how I know there's other verses that do this, but that's the key here for me to add the word or his name here. YV keeps his promises and commandment. Yes, that's right. He keeps. He is the one that's, yes. So this is, all his paths are by your love kindness, or by your kindnesses, by your kindness and truths. You know, I don't know how the verses are going to group together, but this sounds like it's a continuing here, and the two sentences that are missing are right here. And then a gap between them. So sometimes I can guess these as I go on, but right now, not right now. Their life will be prosperous and their descendants will inherit the land. That's not true, because right now it's people who fear him will teach him the way. This is untrue. It goes someplace else. For us who fear him, here's the fear. This is being tied together. This is out. I'm going to make it an 8 point. I'm going to go back through the text in any of these little verses here. Might go with text because it's truthful. These verses are truthful. So when they took and chopped up and started making their own, they wanted to use, this here, let's throw this in. So that's what's going on here. They're just using a piece, but it doesn't belong here except for whatever they want to say, because that'd be untruthful. For us who fear him, we look to YV, and he will lead our feet out of their net. Now that almost sounds too separate, too far away, but that is only sentence or verse 15. So I got to go way back up here and start this verse here. Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am lonely and afflicted. Now, see, this is really, if I couldn't have picked a better place, I guess, to stop, because this is read taste different. Turn to me and be gracious, for I am lonely. Right now, he got done describing everything that I just got done editing does not go with this. Turn to me and be gracious, for I am lonely and afflicted. The troubles in my heart, I have troubles in my heart. This doesn't need to be here. That's just added on words. I am lonely and afflicted. and have troubles in my heart. But that isn't right either. Bring me out of my distress. Look upon my affliction. Look upon my affliction and my trouble, whatever, and forgive all my sins. That's going to try to hook to here. Look upon my enemies, for there are many, for they are many who hate me with violent hatred. That seems like a late, hate is enough. Don't need to add this. So, guard my soul and deliver me. Can't guard your soul. Guard my life and deliver me. Protect my life, not guard, and deliver me. Do not let me be ashamed, for I take refuge in you. That reads like this: let integrity and let my integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait for you. That is reading like this, goes on the end of this. Let my integrity and uprightness preserve me, for I wait for you. Redeem Israel out of all his troubles, out of all, redeem Israelis out of all their troubles. But those two are separate from each other. Oh boy. Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am lonely and afflicted. The troubles of my heart, I have troubles. The troubles in my heart, these don't want to go together. My heart is enlarged. Bring me out of my distress. The troubles in my heart, bring me out of my distress. This is not making any sense. That's not making any sense. Plain and simple. Look upon my affliction and my trouble, and forgive my sin. Forgive all my sins. You can't ask your way out of forgiveness. That's what the tent was made for, why the priests are there. That's why the house was made. That's why the priests are there. That's why the commandments are there. This person doesn't understand how to forgive sin. Look upon my enemy, for there are many who hate me. Guard my life and deliver me. Now that's sounding like David, okay? Guard my life and deliver. You guard my life and delivered me. Do not let me be ashamed. for I take refuge in you. Look upon my enemies, for they are many who hate me with a violent hatred. With a violent hatred. Guard my life and deliver me. Okay, these might be 3 verses. Look upon my enemies, period. For there are many who hate me, comma, period. Guard my life and deliver me. Subject. Do not let me be ashamed, for I take refuge in you. Those two hook together. Let my integrity and uprightness. Period. Preserve my life. This is completely being added. Let me see if there's a better word than preserve. That sounds like gonna can them and pickle them. Let's see here. This is verse 21. Okay. Preserve. Keep. Keep or watch. Let my integrity and right one. Keep my life. Keep me alive as I wait for him. If we go back to Jesus in this, it's kind of like, let my integrity and uprightness keep me. This would have to be alive. Keep me alive, for I wait for him. And we know who him is. And it's not you. For him to redeem Israelis out of all their troubles. That's 3 verse. How does this? Well, I think I've done enough correcting here that I got to take this down here. And then I want to, this I said was out. Now let me see if I can get a better feel for this writer. Turn to me and be gracious. Don't need this. For I am lonely and afflicted. For I am alone, afflicted. Why would he be lonely? And look upon my enemies, for they are many who hate me with a violent hatred. Guard my life and deliver me. Do not let me be ashamed, for I take refuge in you. Let my integrity and uprightness keep me alive as I wait for him. As I wait for him, period. Redeem, which means this comes from our Creator, Israelis. And this will be from all their troubles, and don't need the word out. From all their troubles. And then there's a verse missing. Period. Okay. Now I know that's a second piece, because that's a 4 verse and that's a 3 verse. But this is looking, even though it took me a little bit to get here, I got here. And whoops, 26, got to separate that a little bit farther. I try to be ahead, so in case it goes real quick and easy, that I have another one ready going without having to take much time. It takes me long enough just sitting here going through text like this, and I will remember that later. This one here, this. And that's cleaned up. But this is a 3 verse, so this is definitely gone like this. It's changing just those little words that make all of a sudden a big difference. Man. Okay, let me clean this up a little bit. I'm looking for the commas and periods. That'll tell me 4 verses going on the way here. Clean that up. Got that. And then this is still a 4 verse. And then that's the 4 verse. That's going to hook. And then like that. And then these here. Okay. Now, this is a paragraph. So do they hook together or don't hook together? Why be you trust? Why be we trust? Why be you we trust? Do not let us be ashamed. Do not let our enemies exalt over us. None of us are to fail. Who wait for him are to be unashamed. Those who betrayed us without cause will be ashamed. I like that, so I'm going to keep that. Teach us his path and lead us by your truths. For you are the creator of our salvation. And we are to wait for him every day. Remember, Wivey, your compassion and kindness. Do not remember the way of my youth or my wickedness, but according to your love kindness, remember me for my goodness, and to be good and upright. Wivey instructs our sinners. Then he will for it to read smooth, I needed that word there. But this, let me go see if I can find this. Because these two, just by the coloring and the words, need to go together. And then be like this. This is supposed to go like that. Remember compassion according to your kindness. Compassion, kindness. Okay, and then how about here? None of us are to fail without being ashamed. Our path, okay. But then this is left out in the dust all on its own. So, YV, you we trust. Do not let us be ashamed. Do not let our enemies exult over us. None of us are to fail. Who wait for him are to be unashamed. Those who betrayed us without cause will be ashamed. This is ashamed and betrayed, exalt over us. Okay. Teach us his path and lead us by your truths, for you are the creator of our salvation, and we are to wait for him every day. Remember, YV, your compassion and kindness. This is going from we to all of a sudden me. And that's not good. Teach us his path and lead us by your truths. For you are the creator of our salvation, and we are to wait for him every day. Remember, YV, remember us, YV. Oh, remember, YV, your compassion and kindness. And do not remember the ways of our youth or our wickedness. Or do not remember the ways of our youth or our wickedness. Or our wickedness. Or our wickedness. I want to put a word at the end of this, but or our wickedness. But according to your kindness, remember us for our goodness. I got 2 spaces there. That's 1 space. So this needs to be 2 here. What would, I'm sorry, I just seen that. Okay, let me show you what happens. First thing it does, it's very easy for anyone to prove that they're there, which means who's ever covering it up, they started with text that was not theirs. This becomes first person when it does come this way or get built this way. For example, this here text, when it was cleaned up, I had to add the word priest here because they were talking about serve in your house and live on your hill, or yeah. So the thing here is when I corrected the little words, I started realizing this is a priest. And then when you read this is about a priest's life and how they act. This is the only text anywhere you're going to find in the Bible, this text about a priest's life. To date that, I put it within 50 years of the Promised Land, because I can go through the timeline and show you that there was corruption otherwise. This is too good. And then, like at the bottom, there's question marks, that there's things that are missing. Anybody can find the format. The problem is when I'm putting the words that I know are truthful in there, and it starts out by making the small little changes to us and he or they, or in or by or of to from, that starts bringing out the first person writer's style and being able to say it at that time. There's so much to the text that well. This text, I'm not having to use too many of my maps to explain much. But other than that, I know I'm getting closer and closer here to the end of this one. So I'm going to continue here. And I hope that if you have anything else you want to know about, let me know. I will help answer those questions. YHVH, we trust. Do not let us be ashamed. Do not let our enemies exalt over us. None of us are to fail. Who wait for him are to be unashamed. Those who betrayed us without cause will be ashamed. Now this, those who betrayed us, I guess I can now start to go to a king's timeline and get an idea, because the betrayal of them going on, like I said in Jeremiah, that's towards the end of the kingdom of Judah, and they're done when they go into Babylon. So those who betray us without cause will be ashamed. Teach us his path and lead us by your truths, for you are the creator of our salvation. Lead us by his truths. No, we don't know his. Yeah, this has to be our creator's truths. For you are our creator of our salvation, and we are to wait for him. This is now out. These are out. I forgot to clean up the text here. I'm reading it to make sure that this is the end. Do not remember the ways of our youth or our wickedness. But according to your kindness, remember us for our goodness. To be good and upright, YHVH instructs our sinners. But according to your love kindness, remember me and my goodness. I'm going to leave that there. It doesn't, because it sounds like he's writing it as we and us, and I've got all of a sudden me and my goodness. But according to your love kindness, remember us for our goodnesses. Remember us for, and since that's italic, I can put that in. And then this I'll take and go back up to right here and edit this in here, because I want to make sure I put everything I'm doing in the text. And I added that so it can be ours. I want to make sure for just trying to be as good as I can as to say and to be honest as possible here. Here I am. Okay, remember us for our goodness, to be good and upright while he instructs our sinners. Then he will lead, this is Jesus, and then he will lead our humble by his justice and teach us, and he teaches our humble his way. All his paths are by your kindness and truths. YV keeps his promises and commandments. Verses missing. For your name's sake, YV, forgive our sin. People who fear YV, he will teach. I forgot to get rid of the ES on that. Them his way. For us who fear him, we look to YV, and he will lead our feet out of their net. And then this is just 2 verse, 2 verse, 2 verse. And now I've got this. And this is 3, this is 3, this is 3, that's 3. There's one missing here. And I'm going to say it's up here. And that's a period. And then it needs to go to 11. Oops. A little bit too long. Turn to me and be gracious, for I am lonely and afflicted. Upon my enemies they are who hate me with violent hatred. Now this reads as if it's David. A violent hatred. Well, wait a second. A violent hatred. Elijah is the one who was threatened. Guard my life. Do not let me be ashamed. I take refuge in my integrity. Keep me alive. This could be Elijah. Let me show you. Where's my timeline? And this would be, if it's from him, then it's over here from an Israeli prophet. This king right here, he had diviners and sorcerers working for him because these guys were so corrupt over here that that's what he was doing. And then our Creator sent him to Ahab. And what Elijah did, he went and said, you grab your prophets together and we're going to find out whose God is going to accept their offering to him. And we'll take the rams and they do whatever they do, and I'll let them go first. And they were dancing until they were tired around it after doing it. Well, Elijah, after he puts the muscles upon the altar, and he goes to the river and grabs water, and he's throwing water until around it was just pouring off. And then he turns to heaven and looks and asks for our Creator to accept it, and from heaven comes down fire. Now, those that were there, they hated him for it. And they literally told him they were going to kill him. And then then he takes and hides in a cave until our Creator says, why you're hiding, get back out there and talk to him again. So that, when I know that story, and I know only a prophet or a king or a priest can put words in here And then a scribe can put the story of a king or a priest in the text. But there aren't that many people that can actually do this. There are many who hate me with a violent hatred. Guard my life and deliver me. Do not let me be ashamed. I take refuge in thee. Let my integrity and righteousness keep me alive as I wait for him. This is what he's supposed to be doing as a prophet. So right now, I'm thinking I could say this is from Elijah. Elijah's words again. So I'm going to do that, change that to blue, and change that to 11. So that's how I'm going to make the call on this, because there is no other story that I know of that they hate him personally, that could affect him personally. Look upon my enemies. For I am lonely. He was the only one unto our Creator at that time too. So this also, I am lonely. That I didn't like that at first when I was looking at the text, but that does state he was alone with what he was doing, and everybody was against him. So, because you got to remember, he was going around and telling them, okay, well, there's going to be a famine and a drought. You guys aren't onto our Creator. And the next thing they do, the king's out looking for him because that guy said that, and look what's happened to our country. Our people are starving and going through all this problems. Find him. So the thing here is yeah, he wasn't liked by many. This text up here, but those who betrayed us. And here, there's just too many people that can be said that they betrayed from either side. There was a prophet that went and told Jeroboam when he stuck out his hand to say it, it froze. And he said that this guy down here, he prophesied this to Jeroboam. Trying to think after Elijah. Wow. After Elijah, and then Elijah's anointed him. His son was good. There's not many stories of what goes on here. There's down through here, there's not many stories of him. There's this story here, and there is a prophet here that does tell them we'll see you later. You're heading to Syria. But over here, the corruption starts right around here. He wasn't strong enough, but that's Isaiah, and then Jeremiah. There's Micah here. There's Habakkuk. Uriah is in here. Uriah. Now he's the one that he told the king, and then he went to Egypt, and the king went down and brought him back and then killed him. So when Jesus talks about you killed the prophets in Jerusalem, that's what he did with Uriah. Now, we don't have any other stories about them killing them, but when Jesus says you killed the prophets in Jerusalem, so it would have been more than one. But that doesn't, I don't have enough words from Uriah. So this is just unknown. To me, it's unknown. So, unknown. I can't even guess at a time. Well, I can guess because it's this who betrayed us. So, I think I could say again 300 years after David. I'll do that again, 300 years after David. Because that's the way I've summed up that's where that's happening. But that said, I've been going for 4 hours. Yep. So it only took me 3 hours to get through this one. Okay, that's how long it took me to get here. But that's what it's going to look like. Oh, I got to get rid of the numbers here. Because they don't mean nothing. Well, I can tell you they tried to put the numbers in to take you away from the verse and force you to read verses and try to explain what's in those words and not connect them together, as you've seen they're in the middle of these, a lot of these. So that's what their trick was, is to deceive you from finding these formats. And I think I'm going to call it an end for the night. Now, I do have these here that I can show. There's like 16 of them, but it does take a little bit, about 15 seconds. So if you wanted screenshots, fine and dandy, do that. But I'm going to close off the mic and just let you look at them and then call it a night. And I guess I'm here every night at 6:30. So I try to stay on Twitch.tv. I'm getting another computer so I can be on Yahoo on Sunday. But right now, everything I'm doing here, I cut up and then put over there on Yahoo. So, or YouTube, not Yahoo, YouTube.